Maybe I am now. Haha. Hello everybody. Right, we'll start again. Can you all... Right, sorry about that. Sorry for my lateness. Facebook has changed all its settings again and it completely threw me going to live. And I'm just trying to get a feed. So I do apologise for the delay. Still not getting a feed. Yeah. Aha. Hello Sandra. Sorry about that. Sorry for late. Yeah. Good old Facebook has changed all its settings again and it's decided to do Facebook Lives differently and wanted me to do a new way of doing it. Totally threw me. But I'm here now. Oh dear. Can do without that, but never mind. Right, so tonight, how are you anyway, Sandra? Tonight we're going to use the jar of flower set which I used in my launch day last week, which is this one. But we're not actually going to use the jar. I'm just going to use the sunflower and that, just to show you what you can do without having to use the jar all the time. Just so this one I'm just using the sunflowers heads. I'm just covering the bottoms. And this one is in the background, and this is just the other one, this one here. So I am using another couple of sets, the Tasteful Touches, which I showed us. I'm just using a sentiment out of that, just saying hello, and using a sentiment out of the Lovely You with the tag punch as well. So just going to crack on after the tardy start. Which one should we do first? I think we'll do that one because it's nice and easy. So yeah, good old Facebook. Don't you just love it when it keeps changing every 5 minutes? I'd say I don't think it is every 5 minutes. I think it's actually every 2 months they change things, but it feels like every 2 minutes or 5 minutes. Right, so that layer's on there. So we're going to do Stampin' first. So yeah, it's going to just have to slip underneath. We're using Crumb Cake, which is a nice light colour. Seems to be quiet tonight. Nobody else wants to join me, but hey ho, you got me all to yourself, Sandra. Right, here we go. So, yeah, so tap, tap, tap. Just going to stamp all of it. Actually, I'm going to start there, then that gives you me a general. I don't know if you can see very well. Actually, hold on. I don't know if that's blinding you out with those lights. Let me just turn them off. Oh, yeah, I don't know. You might be able to see a bit better. I'm aware that we will lose light eventually. So we'll just go there at a slight angle. And then you kind of can go around it and see where you want to go. I'm not going to see all this anyway, but just a case of trying not to get too many gaps here, even though we are covering it. Oh. And hopefully you can see that. You can see that all over. So yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do love the jar of flowers and I do love the jar, but I've made quite a few cards using it, and I know I showed it last week, so I just thought I'd show a little different way of using it. I'm sure there's lots of ways you can use it, but I said this is just two ways. Put that over there. Don't need crumb cake anymore. Right, so next we're going to do this piece, which is with a sentiment in Early Espresso. We've got 3 colours in the actual brown ranges, in the brown tones, although we've now got another one in the new in colours, but I haven't got that yet. You can see they all tone. They're all tonal. They all go combine very nice together. So the crumb cake is what I've just used. Soft suede is really nice. I use that a lot. And early espresso is just slightly lighter than, well, yeah, quite a bit lighter than black. It's just less harsh than black, and I use that a lot more than I do black. I love it because I say it's just, I do find black quite harsh most of the time, so it's just a good way of just toning it down a little bit. So I'm just going to go in with the sentiment. And I don't know why I've got the pad underneath, and I really don't need the pad underneath with these stamps, but I will for the other ones, so keep it there. So back to this one. And just go into the corner. I did contemplate whether to colour this in or not with white watercolour pencils, but I chose not to. But you could do that. That's a very nice effect. So I think we're finished with that one. And what I did do, I know what I haven't done. I haven't bought up the backing for that. I'm just going to get rid of this. So using our triple corner punch just to do this. Oh, you get like a lovely, yeah, and I have backed it with some DSP on the card, but I haven't bought that up. I didn't put it, so just trying to think what else I could. Yeah, I won't bother too much. It's just that you don't see it once I mount it on the. I'll just put a little bit of white on it. That'll do. So we'll just cut. So I used the double-sided paper that matched with this. But we'll improvise as always. Excuse me. Just a little bit of glue all the way round. Just pop that on the back. And that just gives you, it just shows it a little bit more, rather than whether it'd get lost on the patterned piece of it. Oh, I actually quite like it with the white background. That looks nice. And you won't see that obviously when I stick it down. I'll put it on dimensionals. So we're nearly there on this card. It's a very quick and easy card to do. So this is Petal Pink, which just goes lovely with early espresso. Goes with brown. I love pink and brown. My living room is actually pink and brown. It has been for numerous years. It does need decorating, but you know, I went through a phase of loving it pink and brown together, and or chocolate more than anything, but pink and chocolate colour. There we go. What's that? No, it mustn't mount that. Oh, I shouldn't have mounted that up, but it doesn't. Yeah, that's right. We can get around it that way. So I'll stick that on next. This paper is from the new pack. I don't know what it's called. It's like texture effect. I think it's in the Tasteful Textures suite actually. And there's really some. This is like some really lovely textures, wood and hessian and tweed, and this is like a chenille. I think it's a bit like a chenille. I'm not sure that looks as though it's upside down. I think it does. I'm just going to put it that way. Bit weird, I know, but it just looked wrong, the wrong way round. And I'm not sure if this is part of the suite. I think it must be, because this is it's a faux suede ribbon, and you can't see it on camera. You won't see it, but oh my gosh, it feels like suede. It really does. It is so soft. Yeah, that's all I can explain. It is just like touching suede. I'm going to use some tape on the back. haven't got any double-sided, bigger, wider tape, so this is going to have to do. No worries. So this is probably a weird way of doing how I do my ribbons, but I've never met anybody else who does it like me, I have to say. But I do two bits. I do a short piece around the front, and then I loop a bigger piece under here. But generally, yeah, I'll get it mounted on there first. Yeah, very quick and easy card. Right. Just going to lift them off for a little bit more stickiness. That one's covered in glue, but never mind. There we go. Get it the right way up. So yeah, I think, yeah, it's probably too late. That pink paper should have gone on the brown, but it's going to have to do like that, so it's a little bit off, but I'm sure people won't notice it. So lots of dimensionals on the back now. Oh, I'm a little bit sticky. So yeah, quite a few. Probably about, oh, I don't know, because we're going to need some in the middle as well. Probably going to be about 10. Or 11. But you need, especially if you're posting it in the post, you do need plenty of dimensionals, otherwise it'll just get squidged. I think everybody must have gone for an evening walk, or I know Wanda's gone for a bike ride, another one, because one wasn't enough for her today. It was a lovely evening. So I'm just going to pop that on there, about central, and then loop this underneath. Oh, that's got some, and do a bow. Now I know lots of people have problems doing bows. I'm not the world's best at them, but I've learnt several ways, and I've done all sorts of ways, and this is the easiest I find, is by doing bunny ears. So I just do the knot and then do bunny ears, which can be a little bit fiddly, but you tend to get an even bow and your tails lay the right way. That's why I like doing that. So then if you want to alter it, you can just pull it around a little bit. It's quite, sticks up quite a bit because this is quite thick ribbon, and that's pretty good. I think I'll leave that. I'll just cut the tails off. Yeah, and that's card number 1. Now looking at it and thinking, maybe it needed some rhinestones, and I've got some lovely, can't remember what they're called. They're like a pinky coloured champagne rhinestones, and I think they would look lovely on that. So I'll probably add some of them. I didn't on the original card, but yeah, I think they would look good. Hi Elaine, how are you? So yeah, put some champagne rhinestones on. I just think that'll help give it a bit of a lift. So I will do that, but I didn't bring them up, so that'll be done another time. So now on for this one. This has got some embossing in it. I did a bit of gold embossing. So yeah, just showing another way to use the jar of flowers, Elaine, instead of using the jar itself. Just thought I'd mix it up a little bit because I've made no end of cards using the jar. Right, let's make sure we've got all our bits. We've got that. I'll just put that to the side. There will do. Right, so yet again we need the foam mat. So I'll pop that underneath. Embossing Buddy, which I keep saying, I don't know why they retired it, but you can get it elsewhere, I believe. I'm not sure. Versamark, sunflower stamp. No, that's the wrong stamp. So obviously I've just kind of imagined there's an imaginary middle line. You could put a pencil line if you wanted to. I have actually got a pencil here, but I'm just going to do it by eye. But I need to get my gold embossing powder ready. Just going to put that there. So plenty of Versamark. I think about there will do. Getting so low on gold embossing powder. I keep sweating. I think, oh, I'm going to use it all, but it is actually on my list for my next order. I should have put some on my pre-order list and I forgot. I didn't actually realise I was that low. And we'll go again. Back down there. Oh, missed a few bits. There. I've still got quite a little bit left actually. It just always looks as though it's getting really low. Right. I'll tidy up as I go a little bit. If I could find my lid to my Versamark. Here it is. Right. I'm going to remove that now. Just for the time being. And we're going to do a quick burst with the heat gun. So, I ordered sweet counting back order. Oh, jar of flowers. It's on back order, is it? Oh, darn. I wouldn't have used that for my Facebook Live if I'd have known. I did forget to check, I must admit. Oh, well, hopefully it won't be too long before it's back in the lane. Okay. I'm pretty sure I looked yesterday and that wasn't. Maybe it was on back order, but yeah, it's. I'm sure it won't be too long because I say it's all brand new stuff. That won't be too long before it comes back in. A little bit frustrating though when you want it. Right, we're going to use watercolour pencils. I store mine here because I've got both sets in here. And what colours did I use? I've got Daffodil Delight, Pumpkin Pie. I think I used quite a range of colours actually. I mixed it up a little bit. Did I use which ones? Very odd. No, we'll go with those. I know I haven't done the background either, but now I need a blender pen. So yeah, this stamp that I've used quite a bit actually. I absolutely love this, and it is from the Tasteful Touches stamp set, which I'll just pull out again. So yeah, it's out of this one. It's just this little one here. It's absolutely ideal to add a little bit of texture to the background, and this one's lovely as well, and the feather I absolutely love. It's just a really lovely set. It really is. You can make collage type effect cards with it, which I love doing. So we'll just stamp that a little bit. This is Daffodil Delight ink that I'm using. I'm just going to go in with a background, do a little bit of Stampin' off. But yeah, you won't regret getting this set alone. It really is a lovely set, even if you don't buy the shaker domes. Right. Hi Laura, how are you? So, just as those who didn't see the beginning, this is Jar of Flowers, but without the jar. So you can. And I've just realised that I didn't make one earlier, so you're going to have to sit and watch me colour. And I forgot to get my brown out. Now I will say, when we've got embossing, if you colour over it with a watercolour pencil, which is blunt, sorry, I think there's a sharper one in here. Maybe not a lot of difference. I sharpened them yesterday. Sorry, yeah. So when you've got gold embossing, if you go over it too much with a watercolour pencil, it will dull a little bit. So you have to try and avoid the embossing if you can. So, because it's so small, I'm not going to be too intricate with the colouring. I think that's a leaf there. Not a leaf, a petal I should say. So yeah, just, you don't really want your gold embossing to dull too much, so it can't be helped sometimes, but trying to shake my wonky table. I really need Simon to have a look at that. Make it a bit more stable for me. So nothing fancy, just colouring it in with watercolour pencils. As I said last week, these are definitely the easiest medium for beginners to use. I would recommend these over the Stampin' Blends. Our Stampin' Blends are lovely, but they do take a little bit of practice to get some good results with them. So if in doubt, always go with the watercolour pencils to start off with, because they're relatively inexpensive as well. So I think they're great for beginners. Right, so then I just brought in a little bit of orange. So yet again, nothing too, just splash it in there, because once I bring the blender pen in, it does its magic. Obviously, if I wasn't doing a Facebook Live, I probably would take more time. But you really don't have to too much. Oh, that's a grubby end. Oh, I think that's both got a grubby end. So blender pen, as I said before, it's very much like using water, apart from it's got an alcohol in it, and it obviously doesn't leak or doesn't risk spilling everywhere like water can. It kind of just softens it, and if you want to clean it, you just rub it on your paper, and as soon as it runs clear, you're ready to change colour. Also works with our ink pads as well. If you pick up liquid out of the or pick up the ink out of the tray, don't ever pick it up out of the ink pad itself. Obviously, because it's got alcohol in it, it will mark your ink pads and possibly either damage them or at least water them down, and you don't want that. So hopefully you can see it gives it a little bit of touch of orange, not a lot. You could go in over it again, but I won't tonight. So then just go in with the other colours. This is Melon Mambo, which is, well, I thought it was very pink, but when you put it up against the new Magenta Madness, whew, there's a difference. Magenta Madness is so much more of a hot pink than this is. That. Yeah, I can't actually wait until my new ink colours arrive, and I did check this morning, and it hadn't shipped, but I checked when I came home from my bike ride today, and it has been partially shipped, so in the next day or two I should be receiving it. Well, probably 2 days. I don't know why it's partial. I can't think what's missing. We will see though. At least some of it's partially shipped, that's the main thing. As I say, with COVID at the moment, I don't think we can complain about anything when people are offering us a service. Everybody's doing the best they can in the circumstances. So I, for one, am just grateful for what I can get at the moment. A little bit frustrating, I know, sometimes, but you know, we're so lucky that we are still getting a service from Stampin Up, that's for sure. Just going to say, now you've got to watch me do the other one. And I did actually go round, you see, with a green old olive. I don't probably need to go all the way around, but I'll start from about here. I just find sometimes if you go around it, sometimes it just makes it pop. So yeah, again, you can just kind of scribble this, because once you go in with a blender pen, it just smooths it out. Oh, I get my wrists ache after doing this for a while. think it's because I've been on the bike ride today, and my hands are a bit sore after holding the handlebars for so long. Right. My gosh, my husband's in his office and he's singing. That's unusual. So I hope you can see that. See the difference there. How much that smooths it out. Just like watercolour, really. How do they? I'm sorry, Laura. I wouldn't know. I didn't have any of the old ones. So all I can say is, yeah, they're very good. I like them. Obviously, they match our colours. Did the other ones used to have the? Did they match our ink colours? I didn't. Yeah, I'm not sure. But I think they're very reasonably priced. My only bugbear is I just wish they would bring out some more colours. I really do, especially like I was just a bit disappointed that they didn't bring out the new ink colours in them. I just think we need a little bit, yeah, more of a colour range. That's my only issue with them. You can see my Daffodil Delight is getting really worn down. So I've got two of these, and they are very short compared to the other pencils. But obviously, because it's my most used one. I have had them for quite a while now, though, probably a couple of years. So when they first come out, and they get used in classes, so they're doing pretty well. They sharpen well. I mean, I've got not an electronic one, but I don't know what. It's a good pencil sharpener that I've got, but I have to say I have dropped them and they haven't broken. Whether sometimes you get that with pencils, don't you? You can drop them and that's it. That's the lead's broken. That's it, gone. I just find them very forgiving. As a lot of my class ladies, we try and use the Stampin' Blends, and some of them just don't get on with them at all, and they just always revert back to these because I guess it's what they're comfortable with. And I like them because, as I say, they're quite portable. You can get all of them in one box and take them with you anywhere. So they did match, but limited. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Well, so I've been a demo for 6 years, so that must have been. Yeah, they had it. I don't think they had these when I first started. I think they were released a little while after, a couple of years after I started. So, very interesting. Oh. I've got a feeling this plant that I'm now colouring is meant to be a purpley colour. If it's a thistle type thing, I don't know. But I did it pink because I just thought, well, I think the pink and yellow goes well together. They were gorgeous grape. I just go in. Oh no, just do the orange while I'm here. Yeah, I must admit, when I colour, I like a nice sharp point to colour in with. I know some people don't, but so I am forever sharpening mine. I'm not sure how well you can see. I have realised that my camera quality is not as good as it should be. I'm thinking about investing in a new camera, no webcam overhead, so people can see a little bit better. It is HD actually, funnily enough, but it just, I don't know, it always seems a bit fuzzy to me. And I didn't colour these. Yet again, I am going over the embossing, so that will dull it a little bit. Might be quite nice to use, oh, I did bring a brown up, didn't I? What is it? No, I think it's grey. Yeah, no, it's black. You could use a Stampin' Up marker to go over these, because there's nothing to say that you can't use different mediums doing a card. That might give better coverage. But then it depends whether you want it subtle or not. But yeah, it doesn't colour over the embossing too well. I don't think I'll bother. I'll just smooth it a little bit. I have to say, these are worth their weight in gold, these blender pens. You get 3 in a pack for, I think they're around the £11 odd mark. So they're not too bad, and they do last a long time. And I just realised I've missed a pink there. Bit of pink. They do get very dirty nibs, as you can see, even though that doesn't actually transfer onto your project. I sometimes don't like it, so what I do, I soak them in alcohol sometimes. It does tend to clean them up a little bit. And it does, I did try and fill the barrel. I don't know why, but it didn't work for me. I don't know whether I didn't put, I think you meant to put glycerin in, I don't know. Been a bit naughty, but yeah, it didn't work. It just all dripped out. So, but I do find that if you do the nibs in alcohol, that does prolong the pens a little bit longer. So not that they're expensive at all, but when you're using them in classes, they do get dirty quite quickly. These are quite new, these ones. Nearly there. Just got to do the green around the edge. I don't know whether it looks better with the green or without the green. What do we reckon? What do we think? It's quite subtle, I suppose, but I'm not sure. That'll look nice in a blue, maybe. No, that's a petal. Oh well. Yep. As I said last time, I didn't bring up I probably have got a brush, but you can, even if it's not shimmer, you can use a paintbrush, a very fine one. As long as you use very limited water, you can use that on just our normal Stampin' Whisper White cardstock. But yeah, you have to be very careful not to saturate the paper. It's fine on the shimmer white. I love our shimmer white. Yep, and that'll do because I'm going to be covering that. Just put them to the side. So now we'll just mount up paper. This paper is the new In Colour stack packs. It's got writing on this side and it's actually the wrong way round. It's funny, the wood grain's that way, but the writing's that way. But, but yeah, I love this paper. I change it every year. I'm just going to make sure that's covered up quite a bit of that sunflower. We'll pull that down a bit. I'm going to cut that off. You like both? Oh, thank you, Elaine. That's that, either with the green or without. Good. I'm never sure when I do things myself whether they look good or not. I find it very hard to be objective about my own work. So it's always good to get other people's opinion. So this is the lovely cinnamon cider, by the way. This cardstock. So it's another brown we've got. I did think it was going to be very much like our baked brown sugar, but it's actually really not. It's not too close. But, oh, we used to love our baked brown sugar, didn't we? But it is a very nice colour. I must admit, I do love it. So we've got no ribbon around this one, just doing a lot of ribbon on there. Voila, there we go. So all we've got to do now is the sentiment, which is here. So I showed this on my live last week. I don't know if I did. No, I didn't do one tonight, did I? During my launch. So this is the lovely labels pick a punch, and you say you got 3 different widths: 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, or 1 inch. And yeah, you just put it in the little different gutters, and you've got 2 different tops, so that gives you at least 6 different tag ends. But I'm sure there's other ways you can do with it as well. But I believe this is, it looks like that's 1 inch, so we're going to use that one. I feed it through, centralise it so you can see the back. You see that's in the centre. It's so smooth and easy to punch. Again, but yeah, you make your tag as long as you like. Just quickly close that, and then we'll have a sentiment. I think I've done a slightly different sentiment. I did "Love is what makes us family," and that I'm just going to do "Miles apart but still in my heart." Going to do that in soft suede. I think that's probably the closest I'm going to get to, until I get my new ink pads. It definitely coordinates, so just pop that on there. Yeah, I could have got away with doing that as a 3/4 of an inch tag, but not a problem though. And just for anybody who can't see, I've gone back to using my Stampin' Scrub because somebody asked me last week about how I clean my stamps. I'm using my Stampin' Scrub, which you spray on one side and then you've got to dry on the side. It is, yeah, fabulous cleaning tool. So pop some dimensionals on. I seem to have taken longer with this card than the other one. I guess the colouring in took a while. So we're nearly there though. And as you can probably see on this card, this is the lovely new gingham ribbon. And it's in Bumblebee, one of the new in colours. I'm not sure if they're doing any other colours, or whether it's... I'm sure I have seen some gingham in other colours. Can't remember, but yeah, it's lovely in the Bumblebee. So just put that in the middle. And then I'll do a bow. And just like before, I generally make them about 25mm long. I don't know what that is in inches. About 10 inches. Find the centre. Just off centre, do the bunny ears. Just do 2 double loops. So I don't know if anybody wants to put it on. So I have a little bit of a gap in between there. Two loops. You probably all know how to do bows, and I'm teaching to suck eggs, but so we all do things differently. So sometimes you might find a different technique for doing something that's a little bit easier. But I like this because you can, yeah, that's quite a nice bow actually. That's not bad. That'll do me, I think, maybe a little bit smaller. Oh, hello Alison, sorry I didn't see the comments, I didn't scroll up. Thank you. Yeah, I just thought I'd use jar of flowers a little bit differently rather than using the jar, because I'd used quite a bit. You can tell me, Alison, or so can Elaine probably. Is there this gingham ribbon? Is there any other colours, or is it just in the Bumblebee? I can't remember. The Bumblebee colour, because I do love it. I'm just going to whack that on with a... That's probably still a little bit long, those tails. Let me just trim them down a bit. Alison might be able to tell you actually, Laura. Alison, were you around as a demo when the old watercolour pencils were here? When we had the old watercolour pencils? Because it was obviously before my time. Laura asked how they compared. And I can't tell her because I don't know. I'm going to just use some glue dots. All I know is that I love them. Put a glue dot on there. Right. And it's done. There we go. 2 cards. I don't know if you can see them very well because of the light in here. I need to turn my light on now. But yeah, voila, that's 2 cards, just over 50, well less than 50 minutes because I was late starting. So I will use the jar of flowers. I will use the jar to do other ones, but I just thought I'd show you something differently. Right, let's show my face. I don't know if Alison's gone because she's not answering. Right, oh look, show her. Right, yep. Right, so thank you very much for joining me. I hope you all enjoyed that. And yes, and if you have any requests for any of the new stamp sets, I'll say I haven't got too many at the moment. I am waiting for my pre-order. And oh, hold on, what's Alison said? Bumblebee is the only gingham unless you buy the flowers for every season combo. Oh, okay, thank you. Yes, they were just red, green, etc. Not named. Ah, okay, yeah, that's what Laura said. That's good to know. Okay, oh, so that was nice that they bought it in our in colours then. Excellent. Right, lovely. Thank you very much, Alison, for that. I knew Alison would know because she's been doing it a lot longer than I have. Right, thank you very much for joining me anyway, and I hope to see you all next Tuesday. But so if you have any requests of any of the new stuff, but I can't guarantee it because I probably won't have it. I don't know. I haven't got that many stamp sets yet, so but I'm working on it. And then there'll be the occasions catalogue out soon, the holiday catalogue, and we'll be doing a pre-order for that very soon. So lots more exciting stuff to come. Right. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and take care, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.